Coming to you from the Spit Studios in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, this is the Spit Sports Show. Lions-Bills ended about 20 minutes ago, and I have no notes in front of me. I only have feelings and these 2020 vision eyes that watched every single snap of that football game. And I have a lot of thoughts about the general state of the Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills moving forward, but I want to start right in the first quarter because obviously the Lions got flat out punched in the mouth by the Buffalo Bills. A lot of that obviously has to do with Josh Allen, who's playing the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I know Lamar put up 5 touchdowns today, but he has 5 losses and it was against the Giants. So simply put, he's not on the caliber of Josh Allen right now. And I thought Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator throughout, was flatly toying with the Lions' fourth string linebackers, which he had every right to do. It seemed like every big play, there was some kind of motion or manned up running back on a linebacker that would just free up somebody wide open. And if everything was taken away, then Josh Allen would make a play. Now, I am obviously a little concerned about this Lions defense. It has taken a beating. It has been mentally beaten. It took another huge hit today with Khalil Dorsey, one of our backup corners, going out with a very severe ankle injury to the point where they had to bring up the cart and stop the game for 5 minutes. So just emotional strike after emotional strike to this defense. And then just to wrap it all up, Aleem McNeil goes out in the third quarter when it looked like the Lions were finally starting to show a bit of a pulse on their pass rush. It just seems like every time the Lions defense starts to really rev up, they lose another key piece. And that's obviously super disappointing. But that is not the reason why we lost this game. The reason why we didn't win this game is because I didn't think our offense did enough in the first quarter in particular to keep us in that game. Like I said, Buffalo came out with violent intentions. They wanted to put this game away early and play with the lead, which they are more than capable of doing. And after I saw that first quarter, I said, okay, offense, listen, the defense is asleep today. We don't know when they're going to show up. So you need to keep us in this game until they eventually wake up, which they never did this game, but they usually do. And Goff wasn't able to do it. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that our run game was absolutely useless throughout the entire game. Now, I thought we were really going to be able to run on this Bills defense. Kyron Williams didn't do great last week, but this Bills defense, I think, is top 10 in yards per game allowed to running backs on the ground. So I really thought that was going to be a big part of Detroit's offense and make them multi-layered, and they can play action off of that. But really, it was just a Goff drop back passing game, and Goff played phenomenal. He was phenomenal today. Not quite as good as his numbers would suggest. I think he ended up with something like 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. It wasn't that good because, like I said in the first quarter, he needed to be perfect, and he wasn't. But hats off to Jared Goff and this entire Lions team for not giving up after that first quarter and a half where we got just punched in the mouth. We're down 21. I thought the game was over. I was slumped in my couch. I didn't want to talk to anybody, but the offense kept fighting. They kept putting together quick drive after quick drive. Yes, it was against an injured Bills secondary. Don't talk to me about defensive injuries, though. I could not care less. And St. Brown had a great game, and obviously there were some positive takeaways. But my overall concern about the defense isn't even the injuries. It's the fact that whenever we play one of these great moving mobile quarterbacks, the Allens, the Lamars. We played Mahomes pretty well last year, but in general, we really struggle. And that's a problem because simply put in the playoffs, if you were want to get to the Super Bowl, we're probably going to have to play Jalen Hurts, who obviously can really move around, or Jordan Love, who we've already played twice, or a lot of these quarterbacks who can move around. And it seemed like, especially with our deficiencies at linebacker right now, it was just pick your poison. Is someone going to run down our throat with a running back, or is someone going to run down our throat with Josh Allen, or worst case scenario, play action? Josh Allen throws the ball to the running back down the field who had 100 yards in the first quarter and didn't have over 20 yards all year in Ty Johnson. It was just really pick your poison of suck. And what the Lions had to do on defense with all of these injuries is they had to make the Bills one-dimensional. They either had to take away the run or take away the pass. They did neither. Seemed like every Bills first down standard single back run went for at least 4 yards, and from there they were ahead of the chains. And like I said, Joe Brady just played around with the Lions' third string linebackers. Like Quan Alexander, like decent player back in the day, no doubt about it. But there's a reason he was on his couch 2 weeks ago. Same thing with Jamal Adams and a bunch of these other guys. Ezekiel Turner, who had a great game last week, played awful today. There was just a bunch of things that eventually compiled, and you knew the dam was going to burst eventually with all of the corruption and disruption on that side of the ball. And eventually it did today because the Lions forced the Bills to punt, I think, once. And that was the play where McNeil got hurt. So again, all of their momentum was just sapped. So where do the Lions go from here? Well, it's really simple. Win out and you get the 1 seed. Now, Bears, Vikings at the end, and 49ers sandwiched in between. Now, the Bears are obviously out of the playoffs, but they're going to fight because they have a rookie quarterback, interim head coach, division rival. That's going to be a feisty game next week. Although I think the Lions will win quite convincingly, especially with Chicago coming off a short week Monday nighter. 49ers the week after that. They are obviously totally wrecked in every way imaginable. I think the Lions win that game pretty easily. So obviously week 18, that's might be the game of the year. Now I think the Vikings might drop one here in their next coming games because flatly I don't think they're quite 11-2 good. So I think the football gods will kind of water will reach its level eventually with the Vikings. So I think they drop one. But if you want to get that 1 seed, if you're Detroit, you're probably going to have to win out from here on out. If we beat the Bills today, I would have been very, very confident we were going to get that number 1 seed, regardless of what happens in the next 3 weeks. But obviously, you move forward. The offense and Goff specifically looked really, really good when they had to be. But we didn't know that they had to be perfect in the first quarter, and they weren't. So they lost the game. A couple of other little notes in my head. Obviously, didn't take any notes, but the Bills did really, really well rushing early on third down. I thought they designed some blitzes that the Lions clearly had not seen on tape. A couple corner blitzes that got them out off the field on third down that were just killers and got them behind the sticks early. So credit to the Bills coaching staff. They obviously did a phenomenal, phenomenal job today coaching up their team to go up against one of the best offenses in the league. And I just want to say real quick, the fight again that the Detroit Lions showed throughout the last half, pretty much. Like when the Bills came out at half and punched us in the face again with that Coleman bomb and then punched it in right after that, like again, the team just could have went into a shell. But they kept fighting and made it so there was a very interesting onside kick play at the end where I really liked going up the middle, I tell you, because it almost worked. The onside beforehand, the one with 11 minutes left, a lot of people are going to be talking about that, asking what was the thinking. I understand the thinking because at that point, I knew, you knew, Dan Campbell knew the defense wasn't going to stop Josh Allen. So it was either death by 1,000 paper cuts or one big blast to the face. Because if you kick that ball off to Allen, I have no doubt in my mind he'd chews off at least 6 minutes off that clock. You get the ball back with something like, what would it be, 4 minutes left, and you're down 3 scores, and it's probably game over. Instead, you kick the onside, they score quickly, you score again, and then obviously the end of the game unfolded as it did. So I didn't hate the decision. I did think it was really weird that after they scored, after that onside kick, that they didn't try it again. I thought that was a little odd that they kicked off after that. But clearly there was some sort of plan in place. I don't think it was exactly just spur of the moment, here we go. I think there was some thought behind it, but obviously it didn't work out because we lost the game. And that really sucks. That really, really sucks. But the Bills were flatly the better team today. The game did not feel as close as the final score indicated. I love it for the Lions' point differential sake, but yeah, Bills played better. Bills played better. They punched him in the nose early. The offense had to be perfect because the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed today, and they weren't. They were close to perfect in the second half, but it just wasn't enough. And as far as the Lions winning the Super Bowl, yes, they will still win the Super Bowl. I think this offense is good enough. I think that this defense was due for a letdown game, especially after the incredible performance they put up last week against Green Bay, where that was one of the biggest regular season games in Lions history. You saw it in the post-game celebration, Campbell talking about how they'll never forget that one, and Goff talking about how that was a marquee win, blah, blah, blah. You kind of had a feeling that there was going to be a bit of a as there was tape available on these guys who came off the couch, and the Bills clearly got their hands on that tape and were licking their lips, excited to take advantage of these off the couch linebackers, and they did just that. So congratulations to the Bills. The Lions are still 12-2, top of the NFC. I still think they're going to get the bye and win the Super Bowl. But Aleem McNeil get healthy. It seems like it's not all of that bad. I saw a potential meniscus, but hopefully just a mild bone bruise would be the best case scenario. Yeah, get healthy, boys. And that was an incredible fight to make it an entertaining game throughout that entire second half. Even though it didn't feel close, it always kind of felt like, if we just do this, and obviously it ended up that way with the onside kick at the end, which we probably should have recovered. I don't know what Turner was looking at, to be totally honest. I think it was Turner who missed the ball. I could be mistaken, but 47. Got to have your eyes down a little bit better there, buddy. But thank you all so much for watching. As always, please let me know what you thought of the game today. Did you agree with my takes? Did you disagree? If you disagree, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. I love talking about sports, so any disagreements, debates, I'd love to get into it in the comment section. Please subscribe if you haven't already. The Spit Sports Show just hit over 370 subscribers. Big things happening over here. And as always, I will see you in the next. Peace out.